go make money.
Today's episode of A Couple of Bettors is brought to you by Moneyline Limousine Services. Whether you find yourself in Sin City or you're a Vegas local, choose Moneyline Limo.
Moneyline, it's all about the vibes. Take your friends around in style in their newly updated party buses.
Whether it's a hotel or the dinner reservations on the Strip for a wedding, pool parties, corporate event, or our personal favorite, a ride to a sporting event, Moneyline has you covered.
Visit their user-friendly site at www.moneylinelimo.com to book your sick ride today.
Mention Couple of Bettors podcast, receive 25% off of any ride that's 3 hours or more. All right, let's move on to today's episode. What's up, everybody? Episode 30 coming at you. Big milestone. Episode 30, we made it.
Such a tool. Oh my God.
We set out with this whole podcast thing. We said we can get to episode 30, then we'll have been successful. Nah, we're just kidding. Nah.
We said if somebody starts paying us to do this, then we were successul.
Well, we're not on our way for that.
No, not even close. So not successful yet, but still doing it.
Nope.
Losers.
Another week in the books. Well, I guess let's start it off as we normally do. You got Vegas.
You got Vegas, yes. It's not as fun as it used to be. We can't find the good drunkard stories that were coming out. People apparently in the beginning of football season are controlling themselves a little bit better, but seems like recently, again, it's just been the theme is, Vegas is getting Vegas more often than tourists or visitors coming to Vegas. So this week's You Got Vegas, Gavin Maloof, if anybody, if any of the ladies that listen, you've watched Beverly Hills Housewives.
You watch.
You had a Maloof lady on there. I forgot her name, but
Adrian or something like that?
maybe. I think maybe it was Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, he remembers.
Come on. I watch a lot of Housewives, okay?
Just insert word there. So anyways, she, her whole family, the Maloof family, was pretty well known for owning the Palms Casino on top of other business ventures, but that was their most well-known thing. Well, this family also owns the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Now, they're a new team. I think they came out in 2018, only a few years old at this point. Had their first game and a home opener last night, and they crushed it. So go Knights go. Very excited to go watch them this Saturday. Mm-hmm. But anyways, he's part owner. His family owns them, and he had more than $400K stolen from him by his former girlfriend because the girls, you guys think we're not smart, but we know how to take what we want without, getting in trouble for it for a while. She was able to basically use his cell phone to get payments made to her, mysteriously, he didn't know, using Apple Pay Cash, something like that, some kind of app.
Cash?
Apple Cash. And it was over the course of 3 years, so it wasn't quick. She just did little adjustments there, here and there, and came out to about $445,000 that she was able to get away from him before the Metro Police ended up finding out who it was. Some odd messages were being sent, and they ended up researching it, and it was his ex-girlfriend that, at the time was his girlfriend, is now his ex because she stole from him.
Well, I would have thought that the hot girl that he was dating probably wants him for him and not
definitely.
for his $1 billion.
Yeah, and when he wasn't giving it to her, she found a way to get it.
She's going to take it.
Because, I take what is mine. And so, unfortunately, Gavin Maloof, we love the Las Vegas Knights. Glad that you own them, but you got Vegas.
You got Vegas, sir.
Got Vegas.
You can't stay away from that stuff. All right. Let's face it. Players in the news. What's happening? Let's start off with your boy.
My boy, Josh Norman. This is, bittersweet. He's coming back to the Buffalo Bills because we got so many injuries last weekend. I will talk about my theories on as to why, and, me being a little bitch about everybody getting hurt might be the reason. I don't know, but he's coming back. Now, he's most notably known for Derrick Henry slamming him off the sideline in a big play, unfortunately. But he's been around. He's, been on multiple teams.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the Bills. But I am glad he's coming back. He's going to hook us up, try to help us get out of this little rut where we have so many players out just after the London game alone. So bringing Josh Norman back, at least he knows he knows how to play with the Bills. He knows how to play in Buffalo. This is not very, very new to him. A lot of the team still remains from when he was there. So that's a positive, and hopefully he'll help us out.
And he's 35, which is old for a corner, but he's got so much experience. I'm just hoping for your sake that he was hitting a little PEDs while he was out.
Take it.
You gotta
just don't get caught.
No, we don't need that. You don't need that 35-year-old speed. You want that 25-year-old speed. So,
good luck.
All right. Next up, Van Jefferson. So with Cooper Kupp coming back on the Rams, Van Jefferson was kind of like the odd man out of the rotation. He only played a couple snaps last week, and they were looking to find a trade partner for him, which they did. So they're shipping him off to the Falcons. And like for the Falcons, if you think about it, like, another weapon is actually, they're not bad. What are they, 3-2? And they're going to get, another receiver.
They're fine. They're they're not really a threat to anybody, but they're not the Patriots. So.
Well, this also is, the NFC is a little bit weaker than the AFC, right, so they could be a playoff team. Who knows? So he's a nice little ad there for those guys. So one team's selling, the other team's buying. Mm. And then next up, we have Sergio Brown. So the name sounds familiar probably for some of you that were in the AFC East, AFC East fans. That's why for me, I was like, wait a minute, do I know that name? And he played from 2010 to 2016. He's a free safety. Little stint at the Patriots, little stint at the Bills. He played for the Colts, a few different teams. He's not playing anymore. He's I think he's 35, 37 years old. He was arrested recently because of his connections to his mother's death. He might have murdered her, potentially. They found him. He was trying to re-enter the country from Mexico, and he just said, whoa, I was just on vacation. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just sipping pina coladas.
Yeah, meanwhile, his mother was found, the body was found by a creek. She was definitely murdered. There was some weird Instagram videos where he was kind of talking about oh, no, that, it's all fake news, and this and that, and how, I don't know. It's a lot of weird circumstances around this.
He's been arrested for it.
He's been arrested. So. Yeah. So I hope he didn't do it. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. You kill your mom, move, and then go to Mexico. And so, these players, they're wondering if they should retire or not. And, these are the types of lives they're trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid the arguments with the mom, throwing her down by the creek. So get your shit together, Sergio Brown. And if you did it, they'll be rot in jail.
Yes. And lastly, on more of a fun note, because we always love a little shit talking.
Hell yeah. Especially
Micah Parsons. No idea why you would even say this, but him and the Cowboys as a whole. But Micah Parsons said something to really kind of piss off the entire 49ers team as a whole. But yes. I like how Deebo Samuel came back at him specifically. So. After the 49ers-Cowboys game, if you watched it, the 49ers cremated the Cowboys. It was fantastic. We both won a ton of money on that. I had the over. We both took the 49ers. Lots of money on all of it, and it was easy peasy. But Kittle kind of had on a Fuck the Cowboys shirt that he showed off a little bit after the game and their big win. So Micah Parsons decided to say the next day when he was talking about the game, or maybe in the press conference, that they're comparable to the 49ers and that score, the ridiculous score, doesn't really prove anything, which I'm pretty sure if you get a blowout winner, it proves that you are much better than the opposing team, but he doesn't believe so. So Deebo Samuel definitely came back and said, basically, we may meet again. I don't think they're going to want to meet us again if that's what you truly believe, and now you've just pissed us off, is basically the whole sentiment of the 49ers against the Cowboys. So, guys, if you're playing football and you're not doing that good, take it from Juju. Remember when he used to dance on everybody's little logos in the middle there, and then they kept losing, and they told him, please stop doing that because you're just pissing off the other team? Don't do shit like that. Micah, shut up. You just made things worse for the Cowboys. And I'm not impressed with your comments. How you think that you are comparable to a team that crushed you is doesn't make any sense. And no one is right now comparable to the 49ers.
No, Pat McAfee was saying in his show, he's like, Micah Parsons is a beast, right? He's like, but he doesn't have the rest of his supporting cast is not a beast like him. So he's like, the 49ers are all like Micah Parsons. They're all best at their positions. So maybe he's talking a little bit out of line. It sucks for him because, he has pride, obviously, in his own game, and he thinks that he's a stud. But I love that Deebo. Meet again could be a little worse.
Yeah. Better you don't want to meet us again.
Oh, boy.
So that's the list. Let's face it, some fun little things.
All right. How do we do betting? So the hit rate wise, I mean, again, it's another week that's over 50%, which is you're always trying to crack it. With the VIG, you really need to hit like over 55 in order to start making profit. If you flat bet everything and everything's the same size, we did not. Luckily for us, one, it was the largest units wagered for the season so far, pressing a little bit because we're up. Two, we bet bigger on the ones that we liked a lot. And that really helped us. And we were up 6.36 units after another 5 units last week and so on. So we're rolling, and we're happy about it.
I am very, very sad, though. My lock of the week did not hit.
You actually thought it won. And
at one point, I looked at the TV. Now, we were in a bar where this, it's a sports bar. They have a lot of TVs, but they got like kind of the smaller ones hanging. And I'm looking, and it showed the score as if it was over, and it said 0-0 as the seconds were done. At least that's what my eyeballs saw. I'm like, all right, I covered. Turns out, no, the Falcons were able to kick a field goal, and they ended up winning the game, covering for the game and winning, and I lost. And I was like, what the? How did that? But the guys, the tiny TVs, like, they're cheap. Get bigger ones.
I agree.
Even if you have $1 million in your, get bigger ones.
Yeah, there's so many bars that we go to where they do have 50 TVs, but they're, which game do you have where? And then you see one, and it's like, that's a 40-inch TV, and you're hanging it 20 feet in the air. Like, how much does it cost for an extra 60, 70 inch that you could put in the same exact spot? You got room for it. A little frustrating, but that talk about how good Vegas is for that game.
Yeah.
It was 2 points. The spread was 1.5, and she lost by 0.5 point on the lock of the week. So, not the best. But I won on my lock. Luckily, after Tua threw a pick six, they hung on and they won by more than the 14 points, 11 points. But it was they won by that, and so had a bunch of money there. Felt good about it. Jets money line. I mean, come on, that was a good one, right?
I actually took that one. Now, I will not be betting the Jets pretty much any more the rest of the season, but that was a fun one. Congratulations, guys.
And then the Niners were just like an absolute blowout winner. We thought we were talking about it. The whole day we were kind of looking forward to that game and going,
why do we have more money?
We should put more money on this game. Like, we were talking to friends is there any way that they're not going to dominate them? Yeah. And there was no way.
So we just all added more money. And of course, Josh in the middle of the game is like, why didn't I add even more money? And I was just like, I'm happy I added more money, and this is great.
Yeah, it was still good.
Got to be happy with your wins, people. Can't get too greedy.
Absolutely.
But Josh did lose on the Bills bet because the Bills did not cover in the Jaguars. Stupid NFL London games. I hate them. Not necessary. Jet lag. I have a million excuses. Jaguars have been there the whole time. We knew that was going to be an issue. Apparently, Josh Allen was like on a weird sleep schedule since they got there. Diggs was fine, according to reports, but Allen was not right. Now, he looked good, but then all of a sudden, they're playing on this crappy-ass turf that's seamed together with all these like little, I don't know, you could see when they take a close-up of like how it was just kind of put together. We lose Milano, we lose
Daquan
Jones, and we already had Rousseau out for this game. Just all terrible. Kincaid got a concussion. Now, again, turf might not have to do with a lot of that stuff, but if you look in the pictures, you can see that it's put together in squares. It's just like a last-minute throw together. The NFL is just using this as a money grab, and it's like, it hurt my team tremendously. I'm not mad that they lost. I hate that these London games have to be played, and I know this is the second time the fucking Bills had to go to London. I hate it.
I was watching one of the guys on TV. He was talking. He was a former player, and he had traveled to London, played those games before. And they said, "What do you think about this game?" And he said, "Like, guys, sorry here, but I'm not taking the Bills." He goes, "The last time the Bills played in London, the Jaguars had already been there from the week prior. Mm-hmm. The Bills came in on a Thursday night, just like they did again, and they came out flat and they lost the game. And I think it's actually going to happen again just the same way. And like, sorry about that." And so he totally nailed that. So that's a tough one.
It is. I gotta say though, Bills Mafia, all over London.
Yeah,
if you looked at that stadium, it was red and blue all over the place. Fucking sick. Bills backers Italy, they follow us on Instagram. I don't know if they listen to our podcast, but
they do.
You guys are all over the place. Very impressive. Bills Mafia, I mean, you can never not. You have to be a Bills fan forever, whether you're winning or losing, because the Mafia is the best. And that's all I'm going to say. So that bet was disappointing. Saints fucking crushed it. +1? No, there was, 30-0?
It was over.
That was over right away. I love that one.
Love it.
Colts was a good bet against the Titans as well. So there was some good stuff. The Rams, they were close. They were close to covering, but
they played a pretty good game against them. They were in the game the whole game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't like the Eagles did not dominate, which was nice, and there were a lot of up until the very last play, we thought there was chance because it was also plus. The Rams had plus points and didn't come to be. So
yeah, but overall, pretty fun. Fun weekend. And then speaking of so injury report. Tons of people. We're putting on almost like the new stuff or the stuff that's applicable for this week that we're thinking about. But wow, a lot of people on these lists, and some of them unfortunately is multiple weeks. So Daniel Jones might play. They said he was
still questionable. Yeah.
Questionable still. His neck was okay. I do think he did not practice today. So which it wasn't a good thing for them. You got to go to Buffalo. Tough one, guys.
Yeah, and Buffalo doesn't want to play a backup quarterback.
Yeah. So, Achane, fast running back, rookie for the Dolphins, knee injury. Luckily, he avoided, season ending. So it wasn't, he didn't tear anything. It was more of a sprain. But he's out multiple weeks. Justin Jefferson for the Cowboys, multiple weeks. And I think IR. Yeah, he's on IR.
Justin Jefferson's for the Vikings.
Sorry, what did I just say?
Cowboys.
Oh, my God.
Weird.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so Vikings, hamstring, out multiple weeks, which they need, everything they can get. I mean, those guys are struggling 1-4. James Conner, Cardinals.
I forgot about him. James Conner.
For the knee, he's out for multiple weeks. The Cowboys lost Van Der Esch, which is their best linebacker, with a neck injury. He's out multiple weeks. Anthony Richardson for the Colts. Looks like they're saying 4 to 8. So you're going to see Gardner Minshew for the next 4 to 8 weeks. So that's a big one. Then it gets to the bad ones, right? Elijah Vera Tucker, Jets' best offensive lineman, out for the season again after last year, same game against the Broncos. He was out for the season after that game. So 2 years in a row, we lost this guy, which sucks. And then your boy you just talked about, right? Mm-hmm. Milano out for the season. Daquan Jones likely out for the season. Do you know if that one is? I think it's probably out for the season. Might be one of those where he comes back for the playoffs.
So Milano, right? Milano's most likely not coming back till next year. But Daquan, they're hoping will be back for postseason, playoffs, etc. We also have Kincaid on concussion protocol right now, so he's questionable for Sunday.
Yeah,
that's not on here.
That is not, no. And a couple other ones. Zay Jones with the knee for the Jaguars, questionable. And then Deshaun, we don't even know if he's going to be playing this week against those Niners. So we'll get to that game in a little bit. But a lot of injuries. Keep an eye out for these things as you think about your betting for the week because, even just going through so far, we've already talked about a bunch of the Bills and the Giants. Mm-hmm. And, that's definitely impacting what the spreads are, under-overs, and the whole deal.
Hot mess.
And
it's all this weekend for these injuries. Terrible.
All right, now let's get into the games. Talk about what we're betting. A lot of primetime games these days now that there's London and Thursday Night Football and Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football and so on and so forth. So we'll start with the Thursday Night Football battle? I don't know.
No.
Broncos versus the Chiefs. What do you think?
One, I don't even know if I want to watch. It's going to be boring as hell. You're just going to see the Chiefs dominate, but we don't think the Chiefs are going to dominate that much because we're both taking the under. The Chiefs, like we said, they're pulling out these wins, but barely pulling them out, and the Broncos are just terrible. They lost to the Jets. Come on.
Yeah, they did some things against the Jets that I was surprised about. I mean, one of the things that jumped off the page for me was Russell Wilson dropping 20 pounds and actually looking like the way he did years and years ago before he got fat. so he's scrambling a little bit. But the Chiefs,
It's Monkey saying, "Come on, Chunker! Come on, look at Chunky run."
yeah.
That's a good one.
But the Chiefs' defenses look pretty good this year, so that's another reason we're on the under. Kelsey's got the injury where he's playing.
He's probably gonna play. Yeah, he never sits out unless they force him. But yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, honestly, guys, if you have anything else to do, I would just not watch this game and wake up the next day and be like, oh, the Chiefs won by this much. Okay, great. It's probably gonna be boring.
Longest active streak. They beat the Broncos 15 times in a row. But one fun fact here, which is why we're not on the Chiefs completely, is that the last 5 games, the Chiefs have only covered 1 out of the 5 games.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're the worst team.
They keep it close. Yeah,
they're the worst team. They're going to win, keep winning. That's what I said. They're just barely winning. They're not fucking covering for you. They're not making you money, people. All the little Mahomies, if you're just there because, you think he's cool, he's not covering. Terrible.
Yep. So I see it 23-20 maybe. We'll see.
Then this is the Sunday ass early game. Trust us. We did it last Sunday to watch the Bills lose. Not fun. Very difficult. In Vegas, the sun wasn't even out when the game started.
Oh,
that's disgusting. But Ravens at Titans. I mean, we're both leaning on the Ravens. We're just not really that interested.
I agree.
We'd rather be in bed at this time. And I don't know which one of these towns their mayor has allowed them to serve alcohol earlier than it's supposed to, but I know Buffalo did.
Yeah, like the Ravens are allowing a small amount of points. The Titans are scoring a small amount of points, right? So it's like the Ravens allowing 15, Titans are scoring 17. The over is at 41. Maybe even should be lower than that. It's just like the game's going to suck. And the Ravens haven't done a lot this year on offense. They were shaky.
Yeah, they're not impressive so far, which
might be one that you don't have to set the alarm for.
Definitely don't set the alarm for. Okay, another one. I mean, we kind of backed off on some of these games because we were more interested in the second set of games, the evening games, Monday and Thursday games. But anyways, you got the Commanders at Falcons. I'm leaning on the Commanders. They've been looking pretty good. I know the Falcons have been doing better the last few games, but plus 2.5, the Commanders are getting points. I don't know. I would take them, but again, I'm not that strongly convicted where I'm actually putting my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, I don't want to bet the game. I kind of lean towards maybe the over on this one. It's tough because like Howell's getting sacked a lot on the Commanders. Probably one reason why I'm like, maybe I'm not so sure. But Ritter. It's weird. They said Ritter was undefeated at home in his career, but winless on the road, and they're home here. I just don't know.
That only lasts so long.
Exactly. Don't bet the lean, bet against it. So, stay away.
All right, well, this is my lock of the week. I don't know. I really like the Bears here. So, Fields, part of it is, being a Bills fan my entire life. I've seen this before. All of a sudden, Fields has gotten it together. Like, he's showing that he could do better. He's I don't know, not crushing it, but he is not the Fields that started this season. He's just keeps improving. I like that. I like seeing that. Jefferson is out for the Vikings. That's going to hurt them. The Bears are at home, and in certain neighborhoods, these cold-ass cities like Buffalo, when you're at home, the people come out and they're loud. So I think the Bears are definitely going to cover this plus 2.5 spread, and then some. I'm going Bears all day. That's why that's my lock of the week. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Vikings have let up, like, the opposing quarterbacks have had high completion percentage against them, so their secondary is not that good. Fields probably just keeps it going. I'm leaning there. I'm just not betting it. A lot of other stuff to bet, but
go Bears. The Bears.
Seahawks at the Bengals. It's a weird one. Seahawks coming off a bye week, so this is what we're going to start to see now. Now that we're a few games into the season, a few of these games this week are the first ones where people are coming off a bye week.
I feel bad for these teams, by the way.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess, depends. If you're going against a good team, though, a solid team like the Bengals are supposed to be, right? Like, who knows?
Take that back.
they could look good last week. I don't know. But it's nice to have some time to prepare for them. So, you always got to think about that. They've been looking at the Bengals tape now for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna help you in this. It's just like, okay, in 4 weeks from now, when you're battered and bruised, you don't get a break when everybody else is there. Like, I just feel like it's like, if you're a teacher, for example, and the schedule's like, oh, your lunch is at 10 a.m. because that's the only time we can get you off, but you're gonna work through till 4. Good luck not being hungry. Like, that sucks. That's how I take it.
That's actually a good point. Yeah. Look, the Bengals, again, we're both leaning the Seahawks. It's plus the 3 points. Bengals looked better last week. They had 3 touchdowns the whole season until last week when they had 3 touchdowns. So they're putting something together. Maybe it's still sketchy. I'd rather stay away just because, even though we're both lean the Seahawks, it's like, oh wait, did the Bengals now find themselves last week and they're going to keep going?
I hope not. Never find yourselves, Bengals.
All right, this is my lock of the week, which should have been my lock of the week last week. So I bet them a lot. I'm going to continue to bet them right now. San Francisco 49ers, behind a multitude of players, Brock Purdy, Kittle, Deebo, Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey. Is this an all-star team? I don't even know. They're going to go to the Browns. It's like, yeah, okay, you're on the road. You're going against the Browns. Browns have a good defense, allegedly. On paper, they do. They've only let up like 200 yards a game. They only let up 15 points a game so far. That being said, though, they haven't played the likes of a San Francisco 49er team yet. We don't even know if Deshaun Watson is playing. So, you could be facing, the backup quarterbacks over there. We don't even know. There's 2 of them. Who knows which one they're going to go to. The Niners is just too much. It's just too much.
I don't know why the spread's -6. It should be -10.
Yeah, I really think I agree with you. I think I'm going to pound this one, guys. So, we talk about this being my lock of the week. This is like the lock of the month. I don't know. So take it to the bank, right?
Put your mortgage on this one.
Absolutely. Rent payment due, hold off a week, landlord. You're not getting it this week because I'm going to have double after I bet your money. All right, we'll talk about it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Come on.
What, irresponsible gambling? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem.
All right, then we have the Texans at the Saints. I'm leaning on the Saints. Like I said, the Saints crushed the Patriots, who, yes, are not a good team. But the Texans are not that good either. Texans are worse at home since 2022. But again, not like if you have to pick a few games to watch, this ain't it. I'm not into watching it. Yeah. But if you're looking for something to bet, I would bet the Saints -1.5.
Also, because you're sour because the Texans didn't cover your.
Oh yeah. Also, screw the Texans because they can't cover against whatever they played. I forget who they played. Falcons, Cardinals, one of the birds.
Christine is definitely, what have you done for me lately?
Oh, absolutely. I take everything personally. This is it. But Josh was leaning on the 42.5 over.
Yeah, I mean, it just because
it's low over.
It's low, and both of those teams have had games where they're putting up 30. So I feel like the 42.5 is actually not giving their offenses enough credit there.
It's fine.
All right, Colts versus the Jags. This is one we are both betting.
Well, we've never done this before. We try to talk about it and be like, okay, well, because it doesn't benefit the household to go against each other. But we decided this time that we're just going to bet each other directly and save on the VIG, because I really, really feel that the Colts are going to take this one, and he really, really feels that the Jaguars are going to take this one.
Yes.
Again, I'm very emotional. I take things personally better, but I still like the Colts. I don't know.
It's Gardner Minshew, right? So
Minshew knows what he's doing. They've been impressive the last few weeks. They've covered the last few weeks on the spreads. Jaguars, I mean, you guys could suck my dick because of last week.
Wow.
But also, they're coming home from London.
That's why, yeah.
They're going to be screwed up, man. They're going to be so screwed up. They spent way too much time in London. So now it's not like the Bills got there, they got weird, but then they came home. They've got time to get their shit together. Jaguars been there all week. Now they got to get back, and then they got to play. I think they're going to be off. I'm going to take the Colts.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. We're betting against each other this time just because I think the Jags are the better team. I get the whole jet lag stuff, but I just still feel like they're going to take this one at home. They're going to, ATN, he's kind of low-key been having a really good season. He's second in yards from scrimmage behind Christian McCaffrey. And I think that, T-Law and the team get it done. So we're betting each other. So we'll see what happens. But
I've heard that before. T-Law's going to get it done.
I know, Monkey. He's betting it. I know you're betting it.
He doesn't watch, remember?
Yeah, he doesn't watch.
He doesn't listen.
Better things to do.
Because he
10 other sports betting podcasts.
And then he comes and tells us all of his bets, and they're the complete opposite, and he's losing. And we're like, why don't you listen to us? Just listen. We know what we're talking about. He's like, I don't know. I tried. All right, next game. That was a little rant on that one. We've got the Panthers at the Dolphins. I mean, I'm so glad we crushed the Dolphins because that just still gives me hope and light and joy. But the Panthers will not be able to do that. It's a high spread, and we're both leaning on the Dolphins covering that spread. But because it's so high, we don't want to put our money on it. You always have that issue where, all right, if they're not up that much, are they going to keep pushing it? Because are they going to want to cover?
They got me nervous last week with the Giants.
Right.
They would have. I mean, they should have. They're a way better team, but they threw the pick six, and then now all of a sudden it got close towards the end. Tyrod was in after Danny Dimes went down, and I got a little nervous. That's why I'm going to be nervous again on this one. So I'm going to stay away for the 13.5.
Yeah, I agree. And, hopefully, hey, Panthers, listen, if you could crush the Dolphins, go ahead. By all means. We'll love it. We'll love it.
The one thing is which most people know probably, but the Dolphins have the most yards on offense through 5 games of anybody ever, any team ever in NFL history. They asked Mike McDaniels, he's funny. You saw that?
Yeah.
He's a funny guy with this stuff, and they asked him, and he's like, well, actually, going into the season, our goal was to have the most yards through 5 games.
Hey, just like, you like
Pretty
what I
good.
did there?
I like it.
I appreciate sarcasm, but
Yes.
you're in my division, so I must dislike you.
Okay.
All right, next game, Patriots at Raiders. Now, any of you watched the Monday Night Football game? The Raiders actually won against Green Bay. Listen, the Raiders should just win because they have amazing halftime shows. We saw Lil Wayne, and then
Warren G was last.
Warren G was this Monday.
Yeah.
It's just, come on. So they should just win for that fact. But also, fuck the Pats. They're terrible. I think Belichick might be silently trying to blow this season so that he can actually get some weapons because he's doing terribly.
Could be.
Raiders get 3 -3. I think it's easy. And you know what? It is very hard to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast. We've said this before. Josh and I do it a lot. It is not the easiest. I don't know if it'll screw up a whole team, but not like going to a London, but it still can have an effect on you. Especially if they're hitting the strip clubs before. And, Patriots, they might not be able to keep it together because they're losing so bad. They might be at Sapphires, and then they're like, shit, this game starts early. I got to get up. I got to be out there. I'm going Raiders, -3.
I heard stories about the some NFL players in the late 90s, I think it was, that were they would send over hookers to somebody's hotel room because they wanted to party all night.
On the opposing team.
On the opposing team.
That's good.
But this one, the Pats aren't scoring any points at all.
No, they're doing nothing. Nothing.
And what did they ask this week? What are you doing differently? You going to start Mac Jones? Yeah. You doing anything differently?
We're changing nothing. We're doing nothing differently. Okay. And Mac Jones has to be the most frustrated. I feel bad. He's got to be the most frustrated quarterback ever because your coach, when he's saying we're doing nothing, we're making nothing, no changes, blah, blah, and he's just so stoked. It's like, it doesn't mean that he believes in you. You can see that. He's just being a dick because that's what he does. And he probably doesn't like you because you're not Tom Brady and his life was so much easier with Tom Brady. So I feel bad for Mac Jones. But you're going to lose this one, guys. Sorry.
If you're him, you're probably thinking you're seeing somebody like Van Jefferson get picked up from the Rams right to the Falcons. And you're going, why couldn't you get me the weapon? Why couldn't I have the receiver? They probably should go for McCole Hardman, who's, I don't know if the Jets will trade him because it's in the division. But we have a wide receiver that we don't really, we don't have room for, basically, that is worth, he's a couple $1 million a year type receiver. McCole Hardman did well for the Chiefs last year. Somebody like the Pats needs a weapon, but maybe you're right. Maybe Patriots just say, fuck it, they're going to tank and just get a better draft pick.
I mean, I originally said there's no way Belichick would ever do that, but then you got me thinking, I'm like, he would do anything it takes to win. He is a Deflategate. He is a cheater. It's very possible.
As if Robert Kraft said to him, everybody who does this gets better. Why don't we do it? I'll keep you on after. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You could see it happening.
As always, fuck the Pats.
Absolutely. All right, next up, Detroit Lions at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming off a bye. You like the Lions.
I love the Lions here.
Surprise.
I know. But again, growing up with a team that I grew up with, you just know, like, there's a passion there, a desire, and I know, like, okay, the Bills, maybe, they can work as hard as they can, but then they reach a team like the 49ers, and sometimes it's just not enough because the 49ers are so sick. You're going to be nervous. But in this case, you got the Lions versus the Bucks. Yes, the Bucks got their little vacation, their week off. I don't think that's going to matter. The Lions just have this desire. They've got that passion now. They've been doing great. I think, and the Bucks, I don't feel are, they're just kind of like, you forget about them. Oh shit, I forgot that. I didn't know the Bucks were off last weekend because I don't care. I don't care. No one's talking about them. I think the Lions can easily cover this -3, so I'm actually betting on them. Apparently you do agree with me, just not enough to put money.
Exactly, not enough to put money. The one thing I think, well, just because the one thing I always, with coming off the bye week, they have a little advantage there, and they're at home. But the one thing I will say is that the Lions, the last year, you thought about them being like this offensive, explosive team that couldn't do shit on defense, and they would lose 34-31, and you'd be like, well, what the hell was that? They've got their defensive shit together now. They're pressuring the quarterback. Last week, the Bryce Young dropped back 44 times and was pressured 31 out of those 44 times. They're going to give Baker a hard time here, So he's going to have to step up in order for them to keep that close. But I agree with you that the Lions take it.
Let's go Lions.
All right, Cardinals at the Rams, divisional game.
Yeah, I don't know. Rams.
They look good against those Eagles, huh?
Yeah, it's just like the Cardinals are still not good. they're occasionally they'll show up with that one win, but I don't know. The Rams -7 at home, I think that's a realistic spread to cover, and I just have no respect for the Cardinals right now.
We actually freaking opened at 6.5, and we almost and we didn't get it.
That was more exciting than when it changed to 7. But
yes, I agree. Yeah. Now we're like, all right, we have a chance for a push. Whatever, I'll take my money back.
Push is a win in this case.
But yeah, the Cardinals run the ball. That's what they do. And
Stafford's looking good.
Stafford's looking really good. Yeah,
looking good this year. I don't know. I think it's a good bet.
Yeah,
obviously.
I agree.
Then there's this game.
Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Jets.
Well, the Eagles have to travel all the way to New Jersey. Yeah. Look out. They're going to have some jet lag.
Yeah, I guess they drive, right? Yeah, they drive.
Well, that sucks. Sitting in a car for 2 hours sucks.
Philly's right outside of Jersey, and then they just kind of go up.
Is it 2 hours?
Probably 3.
Oh, I would told no. They have to take a plane, like a 20-minute flight.
It might be. Yeah, they might just.
Who
do
wants
that.
to sit in the car for 3 hours?
We're gonna Google it after.
Their legs are gonna cramp. No, there's no way. They're on a plane.
Yeah. Well, the Jets have never beat the Eagles, so we'll start there. We'll start there. 12 straight wins against the Jets. Tough one, but this is my thinking. I'm betting this game a little bit. Not a lot.
Because he's a Jets fan.
Because I'm a Jets fan. But the way the league plays out, the Jets are, I'm not betting them with the spread. Forget about plus the 7 points. It's going to be binary. The Jets are either going to win the game outright or they're going to lose by more than 14. That's the way it goes. They need momentum right away. They need to get a turnover in the beginning of the game and really change it to be able to dominate and start the run game and get all those things going that the Jets are good at. You can't play from behind. If the Eagles come out, score in their first drive, hold the Jets to a 3-and-out, and then go down and score again, it's game over. So what I would say is it's plus 240 here, right? So whatever type of numbers you want to bet with, but if you want to bet $125 to win 300, that's the type of upside downside you're looking at. And I'm not saying it's going to hit all, but I think it's worth it plus 240. So
don't bet the house on this one, though.
No, don't bet the house. But I'm going to be rooting for the Jets, and I do think that it's not going to be one of those where they lose by 3 like they did with the Chiefs. They're going to get dominated or they're going to win the game.
I lean on the Eagles, and I would put a lot of money on the Eagles, but
I get it. I
can't against him. So that would just be wrong. So
this is probably like the way a Browns fan thinks about the 49ers versus the Browns, and they're trying to convince
Yeah, oh
you.
yeah. They're like, I mean, honestly, if you want to make money, just put it all on the Niners. I'm not mad about it, but yeah, I won't go against the Jets because that's just I can make my money elsewhere. But Eagles are probably going to cover.
Yep.
All right, well then we got this doozy of a game. Like I can't even be excited. I don't even want to like jinx it, but
Sunday Night Football.
It's Sunday Night Football. That's always fun. It's
prime time.
You go to a nice sports bar. It's everywhere. It's the only game that everybody's watching. Bills are going to be suited up in all red head to toe.
Oh, really?
Because the fucking Giants look the same as us. It's ridiculous. I go out. Sometimes I see people with jerseys and we can't see like who the name on the back. Or you're like, is that Giants or a Bills jersey? But anyway, they're wearing all red. I mean, Danny Dimes might not even be in, and we'll be playing a backup quarterback, which is awful, to a shitty team. But we also are missing like a lot of key players, which sucks. But it'd be fine. I'd be like, oh, this is a great game to let them heal. But the two of them, between White, Daquan, and Milano, none of them are coming back anytime soon. So it's like this isn't even helpful. Maybe it'll just help Josh Norman get into the swing of things and see, get a little more comfortable with Buffalo's playing.
They should dominate. I mean, the Bills should dominate here.
Right, but it's just like, it's not going to be fun. I don't want to watch somebody dominate. Sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Okay. But I'm just going to have to keep the cheering down because everybody's like, oh, yeah, shocker,
You don't want the Bills to win here 21-20, and you're like, what the hell was that?
God, no. No. But
Dable's going back in a revenge game, right? He's trying.
Yeah, but I hope at least Daniel Jones is able to play because
I agree.
We dominate, yes, and again, I don't want to like jinx everything, but like to a backup quarterback too would just not be that exciting. You want it as decent of a game as you can get. So, anyways, he's got his money on the Bills. I of course am never putting money on the Bills, but we both think they'll cover minus 14.
The Giants are at the bottom of the league in takeaways, sacks, and pressures. So Allen's going to have all day to throw. It's at home. I mean, this is going to be
it's not
good.
So Bills at home, mind you, if you're not really understanding of this, Bills Mafia wakes up at 7 a.m. for night games. So they will be on one.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember that like little meme or gif of Zach Galifianakis doing all the math at Hangover, trying to figure out how to win money. That's a Bills fan at 7 a.m. trying to figure out how many beers they can have before Sunday Night Football starts and still remember the game because it's rough.
I agree with it, though, yeah.
It's rough. It's a long day. Guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. Marathon. No shots.
Remember the game.
Yeah. That's key. You want to go in there knowing you saw the game and you left the game safely. Go Bills.
Last one.
Monday Night Football.
Dallas Cowboys at the Chargers.
This will be fun to watch.
This is a good one to watch.
Broncos Chiefs.
I like this one. Chargers coming off a bye. So we talked about that, getting healthy, doing those things. And they have Austin Eckler coming back. So Austin Eckler hasn't played since week 1. He's fully healthy. He's coming back. That's a big part of their offense. He's just like the most receptions for a running back out of the backfield all of last year. So, I think that helps them. They're 2-2 now. Could they have been better if he was there? I think so.
Now, do the Cowboys need to get something going? And
sure.
Would this be a nice little...
Definitely.
Sorry, Cowboys fans. Shout out to Rick. We don't think that's going to happen.
Well, what we've seen so far with the Cowboys is that they either are going to dominate you or they're going to get dominated. So when they win, they've allowed 13 points a game on the opposing team. When they lose, they've let up in the 2 games 70 points. So it's like,
And the Chargers have the advantage here, like you said. They've got Eckler back, and they are coming off a bye.
Yeah.
It just and the game. Cowboys got beat up. They're,
linebackers out.
Their linebackers out, but their confidence is just shot.
Sure.
Like, it was just not a good game against the Niners, and they didn't have that great of a game the week prior. I wish I could remember who they played, but we were watching that too. It wasn't that exciting. They got into Dak's head, which is once you get into Dak's head, everything just starts falling apart. Seahawks, possibly?
I forget,
but look into it if you want. But I do remember them being just like not impressive at all. And Chargers are at home. That's also helpful.
Herbert's going to have a day. Let's see what happens. But this is actually a good test for both of these teams. That's why it's a good game.
That's what I'm saying. The Cowboys,
finally,
if they could do something with this would be good for them. But we just kind of don't see that happening.
Yeah, got to bet it because it's a Monday night game. So you got to have some action. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go for Chargers. Not going to make it a huge bet. Know that.
Do not bet the house on it.
All right. What are we actually betting? Here's a chance to screenshot it on your phone, then go over to your app, was Caesars, MGM app, not sure which one you got, FanDuel, what do you got? Not sure. Go in there, place all the bets, win the monies. The locks, by the way, are what we're putting more money on. So we're not saying exactly what we're betting because we're feeling these things out and all that stuff. By the time it all goes in, the locks will definitely have double the amount of money than the rest of the bets.
Yes. We're starting off, though, with the under on the Thursday Night Football game. Again, we're doing that because we're going to watch. It's not going to be a good game. The under's bet is boring, but if you want to win a few bucks, take the under on that one.
High ones, 47.5.
Yeah. And then I have, for my lock of the week, the Bears plus 2.5 versus the Vikings. I already told you what my thought is. Bears are going to cover. I know it.
Yep, and I'm on those Niners. I mean, I don't think you can stop them. We're both on them, but that's my lock of the week. They're rolling. All those boys, I just can't see a way in which they don't cover the -6. So, F the Browns.
And then I have the Colts plus 4.5 versus Jaguars. I'm mad at the Jaguars. Josh is taking the Jaguars with their separate bets.
We're betting against each other.
Betting against each other. It's, I don't know. Pick who you like best, I guess.
Jags have coming off the London stuff, coming all the way back, and I get it, but they're home, so we'll see.
Okay, yes, I have the Raiders -3 versus Patriots. Fuck the Pats, and Raiders are going to have a great halftime show that's just going to get them going because they always do. They know how to entertain over here. And by the way, when your team has to play the Raiders, you better save up that money and take your trip out here because it is a game you won't want to miss, whether you lose it or not. They know how to. We have so much fun. That and the Knights game over
It's like
there.
A concert,
Vegas knows how to do sports right. Love it. I also have the Lions at -3 versus the Bucks. I think the Lions are just on a roll. I think they're a better team than the Bucks. I know the Bucks. They are coming off a bye week, so if you're really into that, maybe you don't want to go on the Lions. You want to go on the Bucks, but I'm taking them at -3.
We're both on the Rams -7 versus the Cardinals. We think that, after that impressive performance, even though they didn't get the W against the Eagles, Stafford's looking good, and we think those guys are going to cover that -7. And then I'm dabbling on the Jets money line against those Eagles. I know it sounds a little silly. Don't put all the money on it, but if it's plus 240, you have a chance to make a couple times your money on that one. It's either they're going to lose by a lot or they're going to win the game outright, probably by a little.
That's okay.
And then I'm on the Bills, which obviously she would be on if she could bet the Bills.
I agree with that bet.
-14 points. They're at home. Giants have no defense, and they have no offensive line. They might not even have Danny Dimes. Tough one for those guys. Feel bad. -14. Taking it.
Then we both have the Chargers at +2 on the Monday Night Football game because the Cowboys are terrible right now. Chargers are coming off a bye. The Chargers are at home. They have Eckler coming back in. It's going to be a good game to watch, I hope, but we're definitely taking the Chargers because they'll cover that spread.
Absolutely. So that's it, folks. Look, we're having fun doing it. Love football season. Love being out in Vegas, watching it at all the different sports bars and things and bouncing around. Love that everybody you talk to, including the taxi cab drivers, betting the games. They don't. If you ask them if you ask local people, let's say a taxi driver, who's your team? Like, who's your favorite team? They'll actually say who's ever covering, and then they'll start talking about the bets they have that week. So love it. Probably going to continue driving a cab after that mentality, but you can't you can't bet all your money on the game. I mean, it's not right.
There's nothing wrong with driving a cab.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying that it's probably net losing money.
Oh God! All right. Well, on that note,
that's it, folks.
Good luck.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Go Bills! Woo! Buffalo Mafia. Bills rule. They're the best.
I'm just hoping.
You don't want to say anything?
No. I would say let's go Jets against those Bird Boys. Let's get that dub at home, MetLife Stadium.
Bettors. I want to make money.